Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to my 3 takeaways episode from the Jared Goodstat interview that I posted this last Monday. This one was so unique because Jared is in the creatives industry, is kind of what I've been communicating to everybody because he's done so many different things. He's been a songwriter, he's been a producer, he's been an entrepreneur in kind of the creative space as well. His first company, Jingle Punks, essentially created jingles for movies and for TV shows and all that kind of stuff, because he felt like he could do it better than the people that he was currently seeing do that. And that's one of the biggest lessons that I got from that interview. I actually don't have that in the 3 takeaways, but maybe I should have. It's that when you're watching something and you feel like you can do it better, ask yourself, why are you thinking that? Maybe that's something that you should go pursue, because that's come up in a couple of my interviews now. One with Alex Judd, he was watching motivational speakers and he was like, I think I can do that better. And now he's trying to get into motivational speaking. And the same thing with Jared. He was seeing these jingles for these TV shows, for these movies, and he was like, I know I can put together something that's better than that. And then he went and did it. So if you're having the same sort of thought process about something, you might want to think about exploring that as a potential career path. But anyways, make sure you go back and listen to the interview if you haven't yet already. He talks about how to stand out. He talks about the lessons that he's learned from his business partner, Dennis Quaid, and all that they're doing currently with Audio Up, which is super exciting stuff. They're trying to essentially create a new platform for audios, for podcasts by audio and video, and kind of doing storytelling, which is super cool and super unique. So make sure you guys go back and listen to it. Make sure you rate and review to the podcast. Make sure you subscribe to it if you haven't yet already. But with that said, let's get right into my 3 takeaways. Number 1 is don't be afraid to be transformational. And I really liked how this applies directly to Jared and his life, because there were a couple times in his career where he came up with something super unique where some people, like one of his old bosses, told him, no, that's not good. And then he tried to get certain jobs with MTV and he was shut down. But he was so confident in the product that he was creating that once he got shut down from MTV, he went and gave his music away for free. Once his boss said no, he went back the next day and was like, you're wrong. He was not afraid to be transformational, because just because something hasn't been created before doesn't mean it shouldn't be created in the future. Just a lot of people have resistance towards things that have never been created before because they've never seen something like that been successful. But anything that has been new in the world, you got to realize it hasn't been created before. So anything that's new has to be created by someone. So don't be afraid to be that person. He referenced Bob Dylan, how during Bob Dylan's time, he was somebody who was super unique. During that time, people weren't writing their own songs for their own albums. They weren't playing their own instruments for their own music all the time. But Bob Dylan was like, okay, you guys do it that way. That's great, but I'm going to do it my own way. And because of that, he was one of the most well-known songwriters and singers in the entire world and in history. With that being said, let's go to takeaway number 2. Sometimes you have to run into a wall to know where you want to go. And essentially, the biggest way that I can concisely put this is the only failure is inaction. So many people have analysis paralysis and they never start taking action because they're afraid they're going to make the wrong decision. But in Jared's life, he started putting money into a business and started really kind of diving into this one particular area. And then once he dove down that path, he was like, oh, no. This is not where I need to go. I need to make a pivot. But he only knew that because he ran into a wall, right? Because the only time sometimes that you can figure out where you want to go is when you first figure out where you don't want to go. So don't be afraid to take action. Take action, then you can pivot after that. Takeaway number 3 was have a curious mind. I asked him what's the biggest lesson that he's learned from Dennis Quaid, and he said from Dennis Quaid, from all the other successful people that I've met, I'm blanking on a name right now, but he knows the producer of The Office and so many other amazing successful people. He said they all have in common a curious mind, because some people reach a level of success and they're afraid of new ideas. They're afraid of ideas that don't come from them. And so they stray away from the new and they just continue down the path of things that they're already doing or things that only they come up with. But think about how limiting that is when you only come up with your own ideas and you're not willing to be receptive of others. That's going to hold you back in so many different areas of your life. So be willing to be curious, be willing to ask questions, be willing to take feedback from other people so that you can level up to that next level of success. So again, guys, my 3 takeaways. Don't be afraid to be transformational. If something hasn't been created yet, that just means it hasn't been created yet. Don't be afraid to be that person to put it in to reality. Takeaway number 2 was sometimes you have to run into a wall to know where you want to go. Don't be afraid to take action, because even if you take action and you're wrong, you can pivot on the other side of that. And takeaway 3 was have a curious mind. The only way that you can level up in your success is really to be curious. Be curious about what you're currently doing. Be curious about other people and how they've done it. Be willing to accept new ideas and implement them into your own life. I hope you guys really liked the episode with Jared. I thought this one was super unique. I had a ton of fun recording it with him, and he's such a unique guy, and I can't wait to see what Audio Up turns into, and I can't wait to see the different endeavors that he creates, because I know that Audio Up is going to be a big thing for him, but I know he's going to create unique things within that platform and continue to create new unique things down his path, because he's such an amazing guy, and continuously has been curious, because he's learned that from so many people. So I hope you continue to be curious. I hope you're not afraid to be transformational. I hope you take action and you're not afraid to run into a wall, because those things are really, really going to help you get closer and closer to your best you.